Greetings, it is I, Director of Arketer Labs, and welcome to SCP. I see that, first off, Nerdy Rodent has noticed a typo in the disclaimer, which I myself only noticed recently, and my live guest, Haven, noticed years ago and I immediately forgot.
Hello.
I should probably make a new one, and if I remember, I will. If I remember. Which, kind of a big if there, really. Capital I, capital F, we'll see. Greetings in chat to K Show, Snookerson 100, Storm Raven 204, Nerdy Rodent, again, the spotter of the typo, and one of the internet's most premier sources on cool AI stuff, in my opinion. And let's see, yeah, 4.7% is about right. Also, exceptionally good at percentages. Pulled out with a roughly the same accuracy as most percentages.
Also, Nerdy Rodent. My favorite typo in the disclaimer is gigolo.
Well, it's not like I have a lot of expertise in the topic. There's a very good chance I thought I spelled it correctly at the time. Any case, also, greetings to Nexus Hunter. We're starting off with SB3049. I have no idea where to go to, hence, we're also raffling off a copy of WWE 20... What is it? 2023? Right, last year's copy, basically. Which I'll be competing for myself, so if no one enters, I'm just going to roll twice for myself and then applaud myself for winning. But if anyone else at all joins, and you're all welcome to do so, most sincerely, then I have to beat you with two numbers. It's like two people entered in, and they both have to win in order to beat you. So there's a lot of incentive to still enter the raffle, especially if you want to just deprive me of the one game I'm actually competing for. Which is fine.
I just want to say, everyone, let Ark have it this time, because he's going to make his own character and everyone else and make them fight the
well, I don't know about everyone
WWE
else.
people.
What I
and then
could.
He's gonna name it Arxena. And then be like, and his name is Arxena.
So, just so you know, prior to starting the stream, this was already fielded, and Haven has already recorded my initial honest reaction, which is very comical, and you have my Haven, you have my permission to post that anywhere on the Arketer Labs Volunteer Reserve Discord server to stress the point. That said, Stormraven had the better suggestion of just the director, which actually is not a bad wrestling name. Has there been a the director in wrestling? Because it seems like something that should have already happened already.
It sounds like a wrestling name.
It does, doesn't it? But I'm not what you would call a mock. I don't take wrestling very seriously. I don't like pretending to take wrestling very seriously. And all my wrestling heroes have dramatically disappointed me so badly that I'm not willing to pretend to take any of them seriously henceforth either. So someone else who is into wrestling, if you happen to know if there's been the director in wrestling, I would appreciate a tip-off. Look, if things absolutely go south here, and if I really take up some bodybuilding, maybe I have a different career. No. No, that is not an acceptable hobby for me. Too much chance of a disabling injury. And if you weren't already aware, I've been wrestling with some minor bugs. I have a very nasty eye infection right now. You'll all have to take my word for it, however, including the fact that I have eyes. For at least 98% of you. 98.9%, I would say. But I'm getting better. I hope.
I was about to say you won't have eyes for much longer.
I'm pretty sure I'll keep at least one, at which point I'll switch to a monocular. And then I'll just horrify you with the empty other socket. Willfully, maliciously. ensuring you all suffer as I have suffered to some small measure.
Maybe have like a bionic eye. Like those Terminator eyes things.
Ooh. Well, it's not a work-related injury, so it's not necessarily covered in the charter, but I think I first tried. Okay, well then, things are not looking so dark, really. Greetings in chat to Assassin of the Grey. Thank you very much for your promotion. I suck at it, and your efforts are most appreciated. The director does not have eyes. His electro-optical sensors of his own design. Well, Assassin of the Grey, I have to say, quite honestly, I do not. But if things go wrong the right way, I'll have at least one that can do the job. Alright, we've fapped out enough. Greetings, Tibetan. Time to move forward. Are there any wrestler SCPs? There probably are, Stormraven 204. That said, if you want to go to a wrestling SCP, you'll need to find it yourself and just present the number when we're done with this one, which is reasonably short. Meanwhile, to whoever sent Arcturus a book, the board game of Five Nights at Freddy's, and this mysterious figurine, thank you. I've taken them all from that unworthy bastard. They're mine now. Particularly this figurine, I don't understand anything about it, but I want to say I really appreciate it. It's incredibly highly detailed, and I would say I really want his outfit. The boots are kind of nice. I prefer mine without the straps, personally, but there's a nice shade of grey on those. The pants are a bit parachutey, but almost enough pockets. The detail on this is fantastic, just for the record. I wouldn't necessarily want the shirt. It's black and gold. Those are Arcturus's colors, not mine. I'm black, white, and grey, personally. And very fond of green, but no one would ever be able to note how much so. Finally, well, this guy has swastikas on his sleeves and on his back. And while I'm pretty sure these are Japanese or possibly Chinese characters, well, we know exactly how well society in general handles nuance, and how poorly the internet in particular handles nuance. So however this character meant those swastikas, it would all be taken the worst way once it gets to a larger audience. But otherwise, a dashing gent. I'm not entirely familiar with the character. Look, I've been trying to watch a bit more of Tokyo Revengers. I haven't gotten so far as to even see this character yet. I'll admit I'm struggling. Look, presumably whoever this friendly neighbor stalker is that sent me all these has heard me talk about time travel before, and how I refuse to take it seriously. Well, Tokyo Revengers involves time travel. And I continue to refuse to take it seriously. Moving on, SCP-3049, Object Class Safe. SCP-3049 is to remain fixed in place within a standard secure storage room. Its heat control knobs should be removed when not in use. Excuse me. Testing of the object has been halted indefinitely by the order of the Ethics Committee. Personnel who have utilized SCP-3049 or partaken in SCP-30491 and currently possess knowledge of the object's anomalous properties must receive psychological evaluation and or amnestics before returning to active duty. We have a photo of SCP-3049 in its active state at the site of initial recovery. It is, in fact, an oven.
Yes.
I've gone through the entire special procedures without remembering that we're supposed to be trading off on these things, so perhaps you would care to take the first two description paragraphs.
Yes, but before I begin, I just wanted to say that it's really funny timing that we should be talking about ovens right after showing off your new figurine.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, while you think about that, description.
Nope.
SCP.
I paused it immediately. I got it. I think everyone else... Look, you all paused that. I got it immediately. If you don't get it, Good luck. Carrying on.
Yeah. SCP-3049 is a gas-powered convection oven
Of course, it's gas.
of standard consumer dimensions. It possesses a white gloss finish on its frame, a glass oven door, and an aluminum handle. Which should be aluminium. SCP-3049 exhibits an anomalous physical feature in the form of a setting labeled apple pie beneath its center dial. In its active state, SCP-3049 generates a miniaturized universe inside its own cavity. This new universe, designated SCP-3049-1, operates on a hyper-accelerated timescale such that an estimated 15 billion years within it equates to 30 minutes outside of it. SCP-3049-1, from its Big Bang to its death, is observable through the oven door. Neither opening the oven door to interrupt this process nor operation of the stovetop seems to be possible during an active cycle.
None of the complications associated with matter operating on a sub-Planck length scale have been observed. The laws of physics and universal constants within the metric universe appear to function normally. The reason for this unexpected continuity of Newtonian physics remains unknown.
The perspective observable through SCP-3049 store does not remain constant throughout the lifespan of an SCP-3041-1 universe. SCP-3049 has frequently been observed to adjust its magnification to follow stars, black holes, and galaxies. These perspective shifts have been described as cinematic and like scenes from that Cosmos documentary.
SCP-30491 instances are also redacted. Document 304901 Discovery Log. Field operative is Agent Rembrandt Anderson. The subject is one Mrs. Redacted Taylor. Why the first name of all things should be redacted is point of some comedy. In any case, I will be handling the role of Agent Anderson, and as I understand, Haven has chosen the role of Mrs. Taylor.
Yes.
Afternoon, Mrs. Taylor.
To you too, Mr. Anderson, is it? Mind if I call you Rembrandt?
Yes, that's correct, and I don't mind at all. May I come in?
Oh, of course, dearie. Let me take you to the kitchen where the oven is.
Anderson enters the household. Please, lead the way. I understand that you've been having issues with this device not functioning as intended.
Yes, I certainly have. I swear that hooligan grandson of mine and his delinquent friends must have done something. Oh, must have done this to my oven as some practical joke. I think they installed a screen and a secret compartment of some sorts. But my eyes aren't so good anymore, so it's rather difficult for me to tell.
What exactly is it that the oven does which seems unusual?
Well, you see, I always let it preheat before it bakes, but recently, after I do that, the oven gets stuck and I can't turn it off until it's done playing.
Anderson, the subject, arrive in the kitchen. Until it's done playing?
One of those outer space documentaries with all the newfangled special effects. I placed it in this glass door right here. Oh, just let me turn it on and show you, John.
My name isn't. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. Oh, wow. SCP-3049 enters its active state.
You see what I mean, darling? I can only bake without preheating now, with whatever they've done to my oven.
Yes, I see what you mean. Don't worry, Miss Taylor. The company will replace your oven right away. I promise. You won't even know it's missing.
Thank you, Kevin.
I'm just doing my job. Now, if you wouldn't mind, could you step out of the shot so I can take some pictures of the malfunctioning device for insurance purposes. You understand?
Oh, no problem at all. Excuse me.
The subject exits the kitchen and moves towards the dining room. Anderson uses his phone to take several photos of SCP-3049 in its active state. The subject returns while carrying pastry.
Would you like some apple pie, darling?
Oh no, I couldn't!
Please have some, Jacob dear. I can be rather absent-minded while baking. I swear I have twice the amount that I know what to do with.
Anderson takes a slice of apple pie. Thank you, ma'am. This is some good pie. Any chance I could get a little bit to go? I bet the installation guys will clean you all out of this product when they get here. You're a great baker.
Thank you. You're such a sweetheart, Brian. Let me get you the rest of the dish. You can keep the whole thing. I don't usually like to bake in glass pans, and I doubt whoever gave me this one would mind a bit of regifting.
In log. Closing statement SCP-3049 was recovered from Mrs. Taylor's suburban home without incident. The subject's oven was replaced with a non-anomalous version of identical make. Low-grade amnestics were successfully administered. Very low grade. I mean, that's someone who...
They weren't needed.
Strictly speaking, the application of amnestics was probably questionably necessary at all. Document 30492, excerpt from The Life Cycle of SCP-3049 Universes by Dr. Riley Cadence. I suspect, given the length of this, we should probably alternate on paragraphs.
Yeah.
I am glad if you're all enjoying the show thus far. Please note at the end of this, I'm going to run the trailer for WWE 2023. And if you want to join Ravel, please just tag me in chat and inform me. And I assure you, I will hold no grudge whatsoever. In any case, greetings in chat to Malice, Tom Leach, and whoever else might have snuck in. For the record, Tom Leach, at no point have boobs been... Okay, hold on, there's some SPs that involve boobs.
I was just about to say.
And I don't miss those at all. Furthermore, if any of you request those, I'm going to ignore your requests wholesale. I intend to never ever, until I die, unless I go to hell, I suppose, at which point I expect they're going to force it on me, read the Omniboob SCP again. Right out.
Even if I pay you?
We're going to have to negotiate price. It's not going to be cheap. I can't imagine it will be worth it at all. Additional SPs that I will not cover again. The cow, the galactic cow. Nothing involving dairymancers.
What if you re-release the old stream with the Omniboob?
Look,
Because I actually haven't read it.
if the record is out there, if you want to watch it in that context, go on. Knock yourself out. Miles has donated $10. SP343 made me do this. Typical of them. Thank you very much for your generous support, Malice. I'm going to take that as a request for SP343. Because you absolutely met the metrics necessary to compel me to read that next. And this also saves me from coming up with something to read next. Win-win. Let's see, am I missing anyone in chat? I don't think so. If I am, you probably aren't paying enough attention. We're up to 9 likes. At 13 likes, the stream becomes a success, prompting the launching of confetti. But that's neither here nor there. Haven, would you care to start? Document 30492.
Yes, at approximately 20 minutes, or 10 billion years, into the life cycle of SCP-3049-1, the perspective displayed by SCP-3049 diverges from previously observed patterns. a frame of reference becoming scaled to a single star late in its formation process. The type of star on which the object becomes fixated varies, but it has been noted in the majority of cases to be an astronomical body similar in size, temperature, and composition to the Sun.
During and after the star's formation, SCP-3049 gradually transitions its display to focus on the developments of an Earth-like type planet occupying the circumstellar habitable zone. At some point after the planet has cooled enough for liquid water to cover portions of its surface, SCP-3049's perspective shifts to follow the development of a carbon-based life. Life forms within SCP-30491 evolved to live on land in 60% of observed cases.
Intelligent life arises on the habitable planet and subsequently becomes the dominant species. After these sentient beings begin to construct complex civilizations, the timescale of the universe suddenly decelerates so that an estimated 1,000 years within SCP-3049-1 equates to 1 minute outside. The sentient life forms become technologically advanced and, in 70% of observed cases, spacefaring.
It is usually observed at this point that the dominant civilization on the planet creates self-replicating molecular nanotechnology with reality-bending properties, an invention henceforth designated SCP-30492.
SCP-3049-2 immediately engages in ecophagy, the consumption of its environment, resulting in a Grey Goo scenario which terminates its planet, solar system, and galaxy of origin. Nanotechnology rapidly propagates throughout the remainder of the universe, while absorbing all matter into itself. This process culminates in a YK-class end of reality event in which the entirety of the SCP-3049-1 universe is converted into an apple pie nested inside a glass baking dish.
Which personally implies to me that her grandson and her hooligan friends are members of Aubrey Cool Yet, and they thought it was really profound to make the oven create an entire galaxy whose ultimate purpose is to manifest an apple pie. And a Pyrex baking dish. Or possibly just glass. Pyrex is a brand, but I'm American, so forgive me.
Oven-safe glass.
Oven-safe glass. Doesn't have to be Pyrex, really. It's ingrained. This object class was considered safe, wasn't it? Well, if it wasn't, it should have been, but yes, it was object class safe, which, for the record, is correct. For once, it is correct! Because if no one turns the oven on, then nothing happens. Heat death universe, alien invasion, so long as no one turns the oven on, it's irrelevant.
And any project that exits the SCP is not harmful in itself to the general populace of this planet.
Notably, while the oven is in operation, technically it's Euclid, because it is ostensibly, but not necessarily, creating an entire alien civilization of advanced technology that might just, I don't know, learn how to travel between dimensions and escape the reality that the oven is generating. So whenever it's turned on, it's Euclid, which would be a good reason not to turn it on. Because if one of those civilizations breaks out of the oven and realizes what the oven was doing, well, they're going to have a hard time with that. It's like, that's straight up Rick and Morty shit. Although there's a very good chance this predates Rick and Morty, so quite frankly, that one episode of Rick and Morty where Rick is apparently using a power source that creates an entire alien civilization just to power the power source.
It's Last revision was 1st of October 2022.
Okay, well that's... Well, this might be more likely Rick and Morty inspired as opposed to inspiring Rick and Morty, but then again, you said that's last editing, right?
Yeah.
So it's possible it predates. Well, who knows? And that's fine. We don't have to prove it one way or the other. And no one can make me. An entire planet filled with self-replicating Arketer clones. No, Nutty Rodent. No. There's only one of me, and if there are more of me, it should still be me. Which is to say, I could perhaps get behind being a Gestalt hive mind entity where there are multiple bodies that are all me. I don't think I would handle a bunch of entirely separate me's all going their own way with no unifying agent. What you have is a bunch of variations of me, and we'd probably get along fairly well, but you're just really rolling the dice on that one before one of us goes super rogue.
Oh, the discussion explains exactly what inspired the guy to write it.
Is it Rick and Morty?
And Carl Sagan, actually.
Rick and Morty. Okay.
To make an apple pie from scratch, you must first create the universe. That is a quote of Carl Sagan.
I remember that one. And now I'm mostly embarrassed I forgot it. For good reason, to be fair. That is a pretty distinct Carl Sagan quote. How did I manage to forget that? Bessie, 13 likes! This stream is a success! Yay!
Whee!
Thank you very much, whoever clicked that last like to make this a success. We have 12 concurrent viewers and 13 likes, which means someone just came in here, liked it, and pissed off again, and that's fine. That doesn't matter. 13 likes makes a success, and that matters. To me, anyway. YouTube algorithm doesn't particularly care. Strictly speaking, it wants much more of everything all the time, and I'm probably never going to meet those demands, so I suppose it'll just have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 14 now. And thank you very much, whoever got up to 14. Greetings in chat to Brain Shatterer. Next up, SCP-343, which made Malice throw money at me, which means that I should probably support 343, because it resulted in me having money thrown at me. Notably, Casual, your request has been noted. We're not out of time yet, and before we read 343, I have a raffle to handle the promotion of. We're raffling off WWE 2K23.
I don't ask why they call on me. Can't do no wrong when it's all on me. Armor over my heart, full of scars on me. Globe in my palm as it falls on me. Locked and loaded, I pray that you get low. If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
For the record, I have absolutely no intention of stepping in the ring as Bad Bunny if I should win, which I do intend to. Which is to say, I'm competing for this one myself. Why? Because it has a character creator. You can make your own wrestler. Also, who the hell is Bad Bunny anyway? Admittedly, I'm not perhaps the most astute wrestling fan. So if
Someone
you feel
who's wearing a golden bike chain around his neck. That looks unhealthy.
that is Arcturus. That's something Arcturus actually does. I can prove it, but this crossing the stream's too much.
Yeah, don't cross the streams.
He's bad enough we're referencing him. That's all right.
Yeah, boy.
Everything that is his is actually mine. I have to remember that. Right, where were we? Next Hunter, live I'll join, but if it's 1v1, vote for a single role for you. I will consider that. Very well, Nexus Hunter is in the raffle for WWE 2K23. If anyone else wants to join the raffle, I still have to roll twice in order to win. If no one else joins the raffle, it'll be 1v1, me versus Nexus. Hopefully this is an acceptable compromise. I cannot take Bad Bunny seriously. We need to get away from this. Back to the stream maps where I really upset some wrestling mark. Let's see. I need to make a special point of K-Shaw's request 7048 because we'll probably start with that next time if we run out of time on this one. 1 second, please, while I handle that. Meanwhile, if you have 343 up, Kevin, feel free to stop.
Yes. Alright. Item number SCP-343. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-343 resides in a 6.1 meter by 6.1 meter or 20 feet by 20 feet room at minimal security site 17. It should be brought any items it requests and visited by at least one staff member each day. Attempts to add further safety precautions or require clearances are unnecessary or impossible due to the nature of SCP-343. See description.
Okay. By the very description, this is not safe. Which angers me. We're not going to dwell on this. Many of you have seen my streams regularly enough to know why.
Yes.
It's not safe. Description. SCP-343 is a male, seemingly raceless, humanoid in appearance, with apparent omnipotence. SCP-343 was discovered walking the streets of Prague and detained after a staff member witnessed him disappear from the streets and reappear on a rooftop. SCP-343 is detained willingly in his chamber as containment has proven impossible. I'm sorry, I corrected. Somehow editing has failed and it's proved impossible as opposed to proven impossible. See notes.
Addendum number 343-1. SCP-343, colloquially nicknamed God by the staff here, looks like an older man, although his features are different to each observer. In my first talk with him, he claimed outright to be the creator of the universe. When I asked him to prove this, he laughed, walked through the wall of the previously bare cell, walked through the wall of the chamber and returned seconds later with a hamburger in his hand. When I returned for a second visit, his previously bare cell had been furnished in upscale Old English style, complete with a roaring fireplace, and seemed many times larger than it did from the exterior. SCP-343 greatly enjoys speaking with people and seems to have a knowledge of all topics. Visiting with SCP-343 has become a daily event for many of the staff here, and all the employees report feeling generally happier after each visit. Attempts to bar staff below level 3 clearance have proven unsuccessful, as guards assigned to watch the room quit their posts saying, "You know he likes company," or shrugging when questioned. Since SCP-343 has thus far been harmless, all staff have been allowed access, and somehow they all have time to meet with him for as long as they need. For now, I leave this report open as further questioning of SCP-343 is ongoing. From Dr. Beck.
I see a lot of problems with this, but I'll wait. I will put a pin in that till the end. Warning: SL4 or higher need further access. Addendum 3432. In regards to document 3431A, there are no relevant records available or seemingly in existence. Similarly, all records of Dr. Humblesnatch Crumblepop ever working with SCP-343 or Dr. Beck are missing and presumed non-existent. All staff questioned about the document convey ignorance of document 3431A and claim not to have met Dr. Humblepot Crumblesnatch in a related manner. Senior Officer Dr. Beck has requested a higher staff rotation, quote-unquote, to increase morale in worse-off sections. This is a very odd request and was the subject of further investigation. Other localized anomalies, such as better health, greater job satisfaction, and lower fatalities in this section, have led to the request being granted. The subject is now closed on orders of O5 redacted. Feel free to take the remainder.
Oh, what? Sure. Addendum 343-3. Data recovered on a redacted date from routine check of Dr. Humblepot Craggle. Oh, what did you call him? Dr. Humblebowl Cragglepot's network drive.
Humblepot Crumblesnatch.
Crumblesnatch, okay. Document 343-1A, data lost as of data expunged visitors of SCP-343 are to be questioned as to their intent and converse data lost. Questions pertaining to other SCPs are put forth, data lost. Orders of Dr. Humblepot Crumblesnatch. Document number 343-1B. Data lost. Apparently, my orders have gone missing. This is the last straw, Dr. Data lost. All my reports and requests to higher-ups have gone unnoticed. I will confront SCP-343 tomorrow. Signed, Dr.
Humblepot Crumblesnatch.
Crumblesnatch. I don't know why I have such difficulty with all the names you make up.
Well, probably the same reason I did. The only reason I remember that is because the last three were correct. I'm pretty sure it doesn't match with the first iteration, though. Not that anyone should go back and check.
They probably will.
I probably won't, but that's...
I know.
Let's see. We all have to have a hobby. Your, Assassin Grey, that's not far off. In any case, I think we're going to have time to go to the next one. I have to say, first off, they do not have God in containment, and they would seem to actually admit that right now. Apparently, in this particular Foundation universe, an ostensible God is very happy to at least pretend to be contained for reasons.
Yes.
Strictly speaking, all we know is that it's a powerful reality bender, and it can teleport, and it's far too scrutable to be plausible. If it enjoys talking with people, why would it prefer to speak with members of the Foundation, where it can go anywhere, at all times? Strictly speaking, as far as a possible iteration of a Christian God, it seems awfully limited. And also kind of petty, because strictly speaking, if it's going to pick a fight with Dr. Humblepot Crumblesnatch and erase him from reality, it would also probably purge every last trace of him from reality, unless it's making an example of him to imitate everyone else. But that's entirely irrelevant if they are truly omnipotent and omniscient.
I mean, omnipotent is not the same as omniscient.
True. But quite frankly, if they don't meet both qualifications, I refuse to take them seriously, and if they have an issue with this, well then I suppose I'm at risk of being data expunged. But I will be data expunged on this hill if necessary.
I'm just checking the red links on... Oh, they're not banned. Okay.
Now what does God mean with a cheeseburger or a starship, for that matter? Strictly speaking, we're getting way down in theology, and this is a debate over things that are knowable and I'm not inclined to place certainty on much beyond the fact that this is definitely not the creating universe, aka God, and furthermore clashes with a lot of other SCPs like, say, the Cicada God, who ostensibly had to have an entire ritual to purge the previous faith in deity in order to stop it, when, strictly speaking, if the Cicada God was an issue, they could have just gone to 343 and say, hey, we're having a problem with this extra reality usurper. Gotta, slap him on the nose. Also, if this was an ostensible god of the reality, then shouldn't everyone be giving it so much shit all the time? It's just going to be deleting people from reality left and right. Hey, wait a second. Maybe that's why it's choosing to be contained in a Foundation facility. Well,
Perhaps.
thank you very much for your suggestion of 343. Malice, and your generous support of my efforts. It means a lot to me. This stream has been a success in many ways. We have about, I would say, 18 minutes before the end of the stream, which means we've probably enough time to handle people.
Yes, we do. I checked it out. It's not too long.
1138. Okay, well, I'm glad we don't have to start with that next time. Mostly because I was concerned I'd be able to remember it next time.
Well, 7048 is short enough that we can make it.
Please note, in addition to this, if you're inclined to support the stream, but also happen to be broke, I get it, especially these days. Any promotion you can do for me, any at all, is dearly appreciated. I'm not an ad man. I suck at marketing, and contrary to some reports, I'm not nearly narcissistic or arrogant enough to assume that everyone really, really wants to see my stuff. So, it's really flattering and helpful when someone else has that delusion. In any case, SCP-7048, Object Class Safe. Special containment procedures, SCP-70481 through SCP-70484 are to be kept in the standard containment locker within Storage Wing 48 and Site 484, and regularly checked for degradation and erosion in an environment measured at 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 40% humidity. But note the standard method of preserving film reels.
Description: SCP-7048 is a series of 4 film reels, each designated SCP-7048-1 through SCP-7048-4. Each film reel is labeled Gilliam Gilchrist Film Productions. GGFP is a potential group of interest under the investigation following the discovery of SCP-7048. Footnote. Further instances similar to SCP-7048 are also under investigation.
When one of the instances of SCP-7048 is placed inside a projector, the individual viewing the film will be transported into the film and placed into the role of the main character and will act through the entire movie before returning to the real world once the film ends.
That's pretty cool. Recovery log: SCP-7048 came to the Foundation's attentions when one of its Agent Dalton Lively, was cleaning out his father's attic following his passing before coming across the SCP in a cardboard box. Believing it to be a standard film reel, Agent Lively placed SCP-7048-2 in a projector also found in the attic before proceeding to be transported into the film. Once the film had concluded and Agent Lively was returned to the real world, he contacted the SCP Foundation to turn it in.
Awfully diligent. Also, did his dad work the Foundation too? Because this already sounded like something that a old school Foundation agent would have discovered and thought, this is pretty awesome, I'm just keep it for myself.
Yeah.
In any case, following discovery of SCP-7, in any case, I was doing so well for a span. Moving on. Following the discovery of SCP-7048, 4 tests were conducted to see the contents, and context, if we're being precise, of each film reel. Test 1. These don't need to be red links. They don't need to scare me like this. This was unnecessary. We can just open these all up at once.
Yeah, that's what I did. And that's why I said we could read it in time.
Yes, well, I appreciate that. Why do they need to scare me like this? Okay. We'll alternate on these. I'll start with reel 1, and we'll go from there. Subject D4848 protocol. D4848 was instructed to view a playing of SCP-70481. Results: D4848 was transported into a film called The Beasts from Beyond the Veil, a 1960s B-movie alien horror film where D4848 took the role of a Hollywood socialite who had to fend off aliens that planned to infiltrate a social gathering. The film ended with D4848 destroying a fleeing alien spaceship with a missile launcher. After returning to the real world, D4848 reported that the entire experience was enjoyable and wished to go again.
Reel number 2. Subject D class 8484. D8484 was instructed to view a playing of SCP-7048-2. Result: D8484 was transported into a film called Duels with the Dead, another 1960s B-movie horror film. However, D8484 took the role of a small-town sheriff in the 1890s and had to defend her town from a group of zombie outlaws who planned on stealing the brains of the townsfolk. The film culminated with D8484 dueling the leader of the zombie outlaw gang, but rather than winning the duel, D8484 was too slow to draw her weapon and was ultimately killed. The film then proceeded to end with the camera staying on D8484 until the film reel ran out. Afterwards, when D8484 was returned to the real world, she expressed frustration that she lost the duel. She also described the process of getting killed as painless, and that after being shot was when she was transported back to the real world.
These are awesome. I can see why his father kept them. I want them.
Yeah.
This is basically a holodeck thing, but the program is already set. Well, we'll see how the next one goes. That wasn't a sonic screwdriver. I don't know what you're talking about. I am not the doctor. I do not claim to be a doctor. I have no medical training of any meaningful measure whatsoever. No one should take medical advice from me. I cover this in disclaimer. Anyhow, got it. Subject D8844, and I have to note that they really are phoning in these D-class numbers. I get it, picking random numbers consciously is a huge pain, but now they're just poking me in the brain with it. Protocol D8844 was instructed to view a playing of SCP-70483, but instead of following SCP-70483's plot, D8844 was told to travel as far as he could from the plot's designated area. Results? D8844 was transported into a film called Water Whereabouts, another 1960s B horror film where D8844 took the role of a fisherman who had to track down an aquatic human creature as it captured various members from a local town. Following Foundation instructions, D8844 got into a car and drove as far away as able to. Following 50 minutes of driving, D8844 lost control of his bodily movements and drove back to the area he was transported. Any following attempts to leave the area had the same results, leading to D8844 choosing to finish the film. The film ended with D8844 discovering the humanoid's lair and destroying it with a stick of dynamite. After returning to the real world, D8844 described the entire experience as having been enjoyable, despite feeling as if he had to actually fight for his life.
Interesting. Reel number 4. Subject D-Class 4488. D4488 was instructed to view a playing of SCP-7048-4. D-4488 was also given a Foundation phone number to call once she was inside the SCP. D-4488 was transported into a film called Mummy Mysteries, a 1960s B-movie horror film where D-4488 takes the role of a museum curator tasked with monitoring an ancient Egyptian sarcophagus recently brought to the museum she works in before the sarcophagus accidentally opens, freeing the mummy inside. Following the Foundation instructions, D-4488 attempted to call the Foundation given to her and managed to get a response. The film then ended with Foundation personnel arriving at the museum and containing the mummy before interviewing and then administering amnestics to D-4488, who then returned to the real world afterwards and seemed to remember the events that transpired inside the SCP, despite having been given amnestics. D-4488 then went on to note that her time inside SCP-7048-4 was the most fun she ever had with an SCP. The bar is really low on that, though.
Really low, like on the floor. Any interaction with SCP that you survive is something you should count as a win. Addendum 02. During further investigations into Agent Lively's attic, a carrying case for SCP-7048 was discovered. On the carrying case was a message to whoever purchased the SCP. Message is as followed. Have you ever felt unsatisfied with your film viewing experience? Have you always thought you could do miles better than the folks on the screen? Want to get away? Want to have some fun? Well, we folks at Gilliam Gilchrist Film Productions have just the thing to whet your appetite. Once placed into projector, the series of film reels you see before you will launch you, yes, you! You heard that right, launch you into the story you see on screen, where you will take up the role as either the leading man or leading lady of a production designed to be safe, harmless, fulfilling, and most of all, fun experience. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Clearly, Gilliam Gilchrist Films is from some alternate reality, but oh boy, I hope they're doing really well wherever the hell they are. And notably, these are safe. I mean, if you don't play the film reel, fuck all happens. That's correct. Excellent selection. Geishal. Yeah, no big Tom Leach. One of the good things about this is that since you're the protagonist, you don't have to worry about obnoxious rewrites that do race and gender swaps. Because strictly speaking, the protagonist is always race and gender swapped with you personally. Which means this is perhaps the only type of film some people can enjoy. Some very foolish people can enjoy. I am of the opinion personally that the protagonist never needed to be the precise skin tone and sex of the viewer, because this was never possible to begin with, and also the very concept is obnoxious beyond belief. Save for the fact that's exactly the shit we get fed regularly. When they reboot things, they have to make all the characters this, because representation. Meanwhile, I seem, maybe I'm only speaking for myself, but I have the impression that a lot of people have watched a lot of films where the protagonist has almost no connection to them personally whatsoever, and yet, weirdly, somehow, they've identified with them, cheered them on, been happy for them. Like, for example, my own personal formative role models in media were Wolverine and Cyril Bergerac. I hate the French. Collectively, not individually. And quite frankly, I just want them to burn down the country so hopefully they can build something better in its wake because Macron needs to go. And I surely have nothing at all in common with a short-angered Canadian with metal bones. But their traits influence me, and I have cheered them all on at great length, although I will never forgive what they did to Wolverine in the comics. We're not going to go into details there. I'm angry about it. I'm looking forward to seeing him again in the hands of someone who doesn't hate the character and all the Marvel Universe, by which I mean Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool 3. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have zero connection to the private investigator John Shaft, but he is wicked cool. Yeah. It was never... Look, we have all sorts of heroes in which the majority of the fans have absolutely nothing in common with the heroes. It was never necessary to recast them or change them. And I assuredly am not related to Terminator in any way, shape, or form. I am entirely organic, fellow human. Just like you. I even have eyes, which can get infected. And I like biological life. In particular, rats. And humanity. Which, going back to the topic of that oven, the ethics committee prevented the oven being running for ethical concerns. I think the ethics committee is full of shit. Because let's say their entire galaxy, universe, what have you, culminates in the presentation of a pie in their reality. Well, that's still 15 billion years, over 30 minutes, in which uncountable people lived, died, hopefully well and happily, that would not have existed at all otherwise. And it would seem that the net result was generally pretty positive, as they did expand beyond the planet, colonize the galaxy, until some idiot invents the reality-bending nanobots that turn everything into an apple pie. Which is not perhaps the most glorious end overall. But all those lives still happened, and I'm pretty sure every last person who lived and died in that galaxy wouldn't have chosen oblivion over living and dying in that galaxy. Even if it did all culminate into an incredibly stupidly expensive pie. This is assuming, of course, and we should keep this in mind, this isn't just an Are We Cool Yet art project, in which case, the reality of it is that it could have just been an illusion depicting that, and then it manifests a pie. In fact, that's much more probable even with magic reality bending bullshit powers. Much more probable. So, as far as I'm concerned, in short, either way, they can use that oven to pump out as many pies as they want. Net positive. In any case, Dr. Arketer, what happened to persons who ate the cosmic pie? Well, if they took it all too seriously, they might have had some sort of existential issues. If they didn't take it seriously at all, they would have just gone, delicious pie.
Like Rembrandt.
I'm inclined to go that you should go, delicious pie. Enjoy the pie. If it's a culmination of an entire galaxy rising into dominance and then disappearing into pie, well, that's their problem. Pie.
Senpai.
That said, if it is actually simulating an entire galaxy that creates an intelligent species that actually exists, then again, they could break the cycle, realize they're in a simulation, break out, and conquer their reality, in which case it's not a good idea to run the galaxy simulation apple pie machine. From a more existential preservationist viewpoint, but not an ethical one. Okay. We're actually out of time because I went on a bit of a rant there. But the, galaxy pie thing did kind of stick with me. It is time for a raffle! right now, as I understand, it's just me and Nexus rolling. We're going to have time to do this. If anyone else wants to join the raffle, you're welcome to do so. In which case, I have to beat all of you with 2 winning rolls. Otherwise, I have agreed that if I just beat Nexus with 1 higher roll, I win the game.
I don't ask why they call on me. Can't do no wrong when it's all on me. Armor over my heart, full of scars on me. Globe in my palm as it falls on me. Locked and loaded, I pray that you get low. If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is he ready for war, my brother? Is he ready for war, my brother?
I still have no idea who Bad Bunny is. Since this is a year old now, I suspect that Krim might not have really taken off properly. But again, I am not a serious wrestling aficionado. I just note that I see a lot of wrestling babble on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, and I've never seen Bad Bunny's name come up once. So I feel for them, because it doesn't seem like it really took off there. No further entries, so Nexus is number first, and then I will roll. Nexus rolls 45, and I am rolling 25. So, after all that, having even come down on my demands, Nexus Hunter has still won WWE 2023. Congratulations, Nexus Hunter. Your key will be delivered shortly. You furthermore have my license to use the character creator to make a likeness of me and then just have me wrestle other people. It's fine. That's fine. Until next time, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for making this particular stream a success at 14 likes and even some money thrown my way by Malice. Much appreciated. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. The schedule is expected to continue as planned. Regards to my condition, because I took last weekend off and I'm still angry about it. Oh, where was I? Until next time, so long as progress continues, success inevitable, blah blah blah, bye!